Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to TVC News at 10. Now, 1 week after the commencement of its industrial action, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities have announced suspension of the strike. In a statement jointly signed by both unions, the suspension is for 1 month and will take effect on Tuesday. The statement mentions that the unions had several extensive deliberations with the federal government delegation and a commitment was made to pay 2 months of the 4 months withheld salaries in staggered form. 1 month by the end of October and the second month to be paid by the end of November. The unions also mentioned that discussions on the remaining 2 months, the 50 billion naira earned allowances, arrears of 25 to 35%, and the wage award have been revisited and are undergoing deliberations. And for more on this development, to join me now is the president of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim. Good to have you on the news at this time. So let's begin with this first. Has SSANU members began receiving any of the alerts or owed salary payments as previously promised for ending the strike? And what assurances now did SSANU receive from the government regarding the issues that initially led to the strike?
Well, thanks for having me, and good evening, Nigerians. Well, I can confirm to you that late Friday, our members have started receiving alerts for the payment of 1 month of the 4 months withheld salaries of the year 2022. And it's ongoing. From the situation room, we can confirm that about 50 to 60% of our membership have received, except there are some banks that are still having some issues. So 1 month has been paid, or is being paid. And like you did mention in your bulletin, this is a product of a lot of struggle, back and forth, promises upon promises, strikes upon strikes, from warning up to the branches protests we had across Nigeria, and the national protest we had in Abuja on the 18th of July, that led to the intervention of the Nigeria Labour Congress, where our president tabled it before Mr. President of the country, and he directed that that money should be paid. And it took this long, from July to the 31st of October, before this 1 month is released. Now, part of the discussions we have had is that government pledged to pay 2 months. And we were a bit shocked and disappointed when we saw that it was 1 month that was going to be paid. And this, they said, is because they don't have enough cash on ground to pay it at once. And they made a plea that the second month will be paid by the end of November. We have had, like I say, extensive deliberations. The new Minister of Education, Dr. Alausa, the outgoing Minister of State, Dr. Sununu, the Permanent Secretary, the Minister of Finance, the Accountant General of the Federation, and then the leadership of the DSS also, stepped in, and we were shown facts beyond reasonable doubt that we may need to tarry a while before the second drop will be made.
Right.
And as responsible Nigerians and as patriotic Nigerians, as workers who also have the interest of the system to grow, we decided to take this very painful decision. Our members are not happy, but we have been trying to reach out to them to let them know that we could do this for our country.
Right.
But generally, the treatment has not been fair. Right. Our workers have not been treated fairly in Nigeria.
Absolutely. Now, point taken on that aspect, but beyond workers' welfare now, what other provisions are the unions demanding from the government to ensure that it's not forced to shut down our schools at the slightest opportunity?
Well, you see, like I keep saying, our handlers should understand that university is universal and it runs a systematic approach, because everybody is important. And why we are getting it wrong, in the economy, in production, in other sectors, is because adequate attention has not been given to our educational system, especially the tertiary level and universities in particular. If you don't fund education properly, if you don't fund universities, adequately, it clearly shows that you will not be able to produce or churn out, professionals, people who would have, who come and take over the economy, running the system of government, both private and public. So there is no amount of money that you will put in education, and especially tertiary level, that is too much. In other climes, they rely solely on the products that come out from the universities, researches, innovations, and so on. So you cannot also do this if the staff are not well remunerated and they are not well taken care of, and and other things. So these are the major issues. So before government today, we have other backlog of issues. From the 50 billion naira and allowances that was captured in 2023 budget and has not been paid. Mr. President also approved 35% increase on the university worker salary. For 1 year, it was not paid. And then the wage award that was supposed to cushion the effect of the removal of oil subsidy, fuel subsidy, also has been suspended. So it's like a whole gamut of problems that we're finding it very, very difficult to work.
Absolutely. With this issue of the federal institutions, public institutions, every time we keep having the issue of industrial action, one begins to wonder if that is what will characterize our public institutions. But from your own perspective, or in your view, what other options can be explored to ensure that we do not have a recurring issue with regards to our institutions being shut down at every given moment? What would you proffer as solutions to this recurring trend?
Well, it's very clear. When this government came in, they came on the mantra of ensuring that there won't be any disruption, in our tertiary education system. And we applauded, the government. But clearly what is being played out is that there is a gap between the president and those who are handling, the system. So if they believe in what he came in with, that the education system will be run, systematically without disruptions, and that there are issues that they have inherited on ground, and they are not willing to treat it with dispatch, we will continue to have this problem. But the major issue is funding. Let me shock you and other Nigerians that are listening. There is no public university today in Nigeria that has enough money to pay its monthly electricity bill. Most of the institutions are running, in darkness. Offices are not well lit. Student hostels do not have electricity. They don't have adequate water. The classrooms are still poor, and the teachers and other workers are not paid properly. So this will continue to haunt the system. So what the people in government should understand that, like I said, nothing is too much.
All right.
In running the universities.
Right,
you must fund it. You cannot run a university without electricity. You cannot run a university without research. You cannot run a university without adequate
that's
staff.
where we have to leave it for now.
Attract others to come to Nigeria and teach.
All right. Thanks a lot for your insights with us on the news at 10. President of SSANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, we appreciate your insights on the news at this time.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's take you to River State, where Saturday's local government elections in Cross River, Abia, and Nasarawa State